Hello everyone. Welcome to the very first national anthem breakdown, one among many to come. Today, we are looking at the anthem of a country many people don't truly know about when it comes to its history. I found it unfortunate that when I simply Googled Afghanistan, I first get links involving war, hostilities, and malnutrition. Don't get me wrong, these topics are absolutely important to discuss. We will discuss how and why the anthem changed throughout its history, as well as the influence of folk music within it. I'm Alexander from Sounding Smart, and this is Milli Surood, the national anthem of Afghanistan. Just a quick disclosure, I will be butchering a bunch of names. I am terrible. History can also be extremely complicated. In fact, so complicated that I have to gloss over giant chunks of historical context in order to keep this video as short as possible. Alright, Afghanistan had gone through 4 anthems before creating the 5th we know today. The first was created in 1926 when Afghanistan, then called the Kingdom of Afghanistan, was ruled by this guy, Amanullah Khan. It's still unknown, at least by me, who wrote the music for the anthem or made the demand for one. Amanullah Khan was liked by many Westerners by how he incorporated modernist policies and laws. Unfortunately, he would get dethroned via abdication due to a rebellion that took place while he was visiting Europe in 1927. During those circumstances, he had his brother, Inayatullah Khan, to warm that royal chair. He would also end up getting dethroned after just 3 days on the throne by a man named Habibullah Kalakani, who was a leader of the rebellion faction in Afghanistan. Kalakani gave Inayatullah an ultimatum in which he did not hesitate, giving Kalakani the kingdom due to the fact that he didn't even want to be king in the first place. However, in just shy of a year, Kalakani would get dethroned and executed by Mohammad Nadir, a British-backed former Minister of War to the former King Amanullah Khan. Nadir would eventually be succeeded by his son, Mohammad Zahir Shah, who ruled for 39 years, and is currently recognized to have given Afghanistan a period of peace. It was in the beginning of his rule that musician and poet Muhammad Makhtar was commissioned to create the second anthem for the monarchy. Loyal Salami in Pashto, or the Grand Salute, talks about the brave and noble king and his faithful followers. This anthem would only last from the beginning of Zahir Shah's reign to its end in 1973, when Zahir Shah's cousin Mohammad Daud Khan staged a non-violent military coup and established a new republic government. A new anthem was born, the first to be given the name Milli Surood. It was created by Afghan painter, composer, poet, and film director Abdul Ghaffur Breshna, and writer, poet, journalist, historian, and activist Abdul Rauf Banawa. Unfortunately, that anthem didn't last long. Just like Daud Khan's autocratic rule. He would eventually be assassinated in 1978 during another coup, resulting in a new party-ruled government. The communist-led Democratic Republic of Afghanistan ran under Nur Muhammad Taraki, who was the head of state and government. Now here's the thing, one of the very first steps of establishing a new government sometimes involves changing national symbols. The anthem would be one of them. The new music for the anthem Garam Shala Garam Shah in Persian, or Become Hotter, was written by Jalil Galand and Ustad Salim Sarmad, while the lyrics would be written by poet and ideologue Suleiman Layak. The anthem managed to survive well during the 1980s, while the Soviet Union and its control started to collapse. The receding influence from the Russians became very concerning to the government, who was starting to gain a dislike after going from political influence to military might. The militant changes and reforms under the Russian-backed Parashimite leader Babrak Kamal infuriated many Afghanis, and the withdrawal of the Soviets made certain groups inside power-hungry. Kamal would eventually be forced to resign, and Soviet withdrawal was imminent. With 10% of the government in control of Afghanistan, as well as military morale disappearing, a mujahideen would take over, and the ones who would take control over most of Afghanistan would be the Taliban. The Taliban strictly outlawed music in the territories they controlled. Thus, most of the country was left without a national anthem. However, the United Nations recognized the government of Afghanistan in 1992 would use an old Afghan Mujahideen battle song, Fortress of Islam, Heart of Asia, composed in 1919 by one of the most prominent Afghan musicians of the 20th century, Ustad Kazim, then dubbed the father of Afghan music. The start of a new millennia brought about the end of another short-lived era of power. The Taliban would be overthrown in 2001, and Kazim's composition would be transferred over to the new Transitional Islamic State of Afghanistan government in 2002, and then later be used by the new Islamic Republic of Afghanistan until 2006. The Loya Jirga, the legal governmental assembly of Afghanistan, would eventually adopt the now current anthem, composed by German-Afghan composer Babrak Wasa, and lyrics that would be written by Afghan poet Abdul Bari Jahani. The law to establish the national anthem is actually older than the anthem itself. According to Article 10, Chapter 1 of the newly formed post-Taliban Constitution in 2004, mandated by the Loya Jirga, the new national anthem shall be in the language Pashtu and mention the phrase Allah, Akbar, as well as the names of the ethnic groups of Afghanistan. So far, there isn't really a strict law dictating etiquette when Milli Surood is being heard in large venues like before football games, or to my fellow Americans, soccer. But the usual standard applies, standing unless you are physically disabled to do so, you have the option to put your hand over your heart, and you have to face the flag. When you look at sheet music of Milli Surood, you'll notice it is in an AAB format, with there being 5 melodic motifs within the anthem. Some anthems often begin with an intro, often 1, 2, or in this case, 4 measures to establish the tone of the piece. It starts with a 5-7 minor first, major first chord progression. So this would read that the anthem would be in a Phrygian dominant scale. I know. Bear with me on this for just a little longer. The Phrygian dominant scale often establishes the typical sound most often correlated with Indian, Arabian, and Persian music, and it's often known as the Hijaz scale. This scale is often heard in Afghanistan with instruments such as the rubab, which has a total of 19 strings, often tuned to the Hijaz scale. Our first melody begins on measure 5 and ends on measure 8. Then it repeats a second time in measures 9 to 12. We then get a second melody in measures 13 to 16 and repeats in measures 17 to 20. This entire A section repeats once more from measures 21 to 36, where we then lead into the B section, introducing the third melody, the fourth, and the fifth melody. The anthem concludes with a held E-flat minor chord, then ending with the tonic E-flat major button. I've asked around to many people from different places about their perspective of the anthem, and some opinions, well, they were mixed. Because Milli Surood lists several ethnic people groups within its anthem, it doesn't really mean it is entirely inclusive in representation and reality. Some people find it boring, and others praise the anthem for its rich tone and melody by how it uplifts such pride in someone being of heritage and citizenship. Some state that there's just no mention of their ethnicity's history, and others get the sense of a belonging and a remembrance. Now, my personal thoughts on the anthem, I have to say that the music is brilliant. It's captivating the essence of a colorful culture. It made me want to actually go and travel to the country, know the people, know the life, the culture, the food, the music, the dancing, the art, the history, everything. It symbolizes how people from a war-torn past want an extremely bright and peaceful future. You can see this in the lyrics, how this is a sigh of relief when I first realized there is no mention of war or cries of battle, hoping for them to push that all in the past. However, the lyrics could be a double-edged sword. When I first read the lyrics detailing only a certain amount of ethnic groups, that could easily open a can of worms. Who knows? Maybe we will see changes in Milli Surood as time and history go by. Or maybe it will be a consistent symbol of progress and culture. Here is Milli Surood, the national anthem of Afghanistan.
افغانستان به دایزد دیار افغان به خورد پشتون و هزاراو دا ترکمن و دا تاجکو
وار سرا عرب گو کردی با میریان نورستانیان
براهوی دی قزل باش دی ایما خون پشیان
دا حواد بدل سلیگی لکل مر پشن آسمان
پسینا کی دی اسیابا لکزوی جاویدان نوم ده حق مده رهبر وايو الله اكبر وايو الله اكبر